We are into our 10th weekend, and the topic for our 10th weekend is topic 7, quantum spirituality healing and quantum transformation therapies. And today is our 19th class. And our topic today is integrating quantum spiritual principles and spiritual healing into quantum psychotherapy. In previous classes, we saw how we can use quantum-inspired emotional, quantum-inspired cognitive, and quantum-inspired mindfulness and quantum-inspired meditation into quantum psychotherapy. So it's time now to put quantum spiritual principles and spiritual healing into quantum psychotherapy. Quantum spiritual principles bridge the gap between ancient mystical wisdom and modern subatomic science. And they suggest that the universe is not just a collection of solid objects, but a vast interconnected field of energy and information that responds to and obeys human consciousness. Integrating quantum spiritual principles into therapy combines quantum principles with holistic spiritual treatment practices to treat the mind, body, and soul as a unified system. And it utilizes methods like meditation, intention, breath work, and energy healing to shift consciousness and reduce stress and address emotional trauma at a much deeper level. So when we look at spiritual treatment and spiritual practices, spiritual treatment often refers to a spiritual care or spiritual healing, and it is a holistic approach to health that addresses the needs of the human spirit, the inner sense of meaning, purpose, and connection. And unlike the medical models that focus on physical symptoms, spiritual healing or spiritual treatment seeks to restore balance to the entire person, mind, body, and spirit by addressing the root causes of distress, such as lack of meaning, lack of purpose, or lack of connection. And spiritual healing uses methods like prayer, meditation, and energy work to promote relaxation, inner peace, and self-healing. And key concepts include fostering faith, accepting suffering, and connecting with a higher power or inner wisdom. And spiritual treatment or spiritual healing is usually meant to be a complementary therapy, something done alongside a regular doctor's advice. So integrating quantum spiritual principles with spiritual treatment practice into quantum psychotherapy offers a multi-dimensional approach to healing because both fields share the foundational belief that mind or body is not a byproduct of matter, but the source of matter itself. So this shift from material world to a vibrational world of energy is the bridge between science and spirituality. And this is where science and spirituality meet. Both fields have consciousness, the primary creative force, as a common denominator, and by viewing the human experience through the lens of quantum physics, therapists can offer a more holistic and transformative paradigm for mental health. So let's now look at quantum spiritual principles. And these quantum spiritual principles, the first one is the practice or the principle of oneness and entanglement or interconnectedness. This quantum spiritual principle states that at the subatomic level, particles can be entangled and remain connected regardless of distance. And spirituality interprets this as universal oneness All life is part of a single unified web. And information can travel instantly across space, suggesting that non-locality, that our thoughts and intentions can influence the world far beyond our physical reach. And the second principle is the observer effect, that conscious creation, where attention shapes reality. And this means that observing a particle can change its state. And spiritually, this is seen as the power of intention. The belief that where we focus attention determines what manifests in our physical life. And this is co-creation. And you as a quantum self, you are viewed not just as a witness to life, but as an active participant whose consciousness collapses infinite possibilities into a single physical experience. And the third principle is vibrational frequency or energy. Everything is energy, and solid matter is 99.9% empty space filled with vibrating energy fields. So when we raise our vibration, this principle of quantum spirituality suggests that positive emotions like love and gratitude have a higher vibrational frequencies, while fear and anger have lower vibrational frequencies. And the fourth quantum principle in spirituality is the field of infinite potential or superposition. And quantum particles, according to superposition, can exist in multiple states at once until they are observed. And spiritually, this translates to the idea that your future is not fixed. Your future is a cloud of possibilities, and your choices and beliefs select which version of you to step into. And the fifth principle is the unified field or the source and soul. The soul is seen as information. And in the unique information carried in our personal aura, this information includes everything we've ever said, every word we've ever done, every thought we've ever thought, every emotion we have ever felt, and every choice or action ever done. So quantum spiritual therapies is what we are getting into now after seeing the quantum spiritual principles. And quantum spiritual therapies is an evolving field of holistic practices of alternative medicine that applies concepts from quantum physics, such as energy fields, resonance, and non-locality, to spiritual and energy-based healing and physical healing as well. So these therapies operate on the premise that the human body is a vibrating field of energy and information, and that consciousness and intention can influence physical and emotional health at a fundamental quantum level of the micro. So these practices are popularized by figures like Deepak Chopra, Dolores Cannon, Amit Goswami, Bruce Lipton, Fred Alan Wolf, Dr. Joe Dispenza, Donna Eden, Richard Gordon, and Frank Kinslow. So let's begin with quantum healing hypnosis technique as the first quantum spiritual therapy popularized by Dolores Cannon. And Dolores Cannon is a pioneer in past life regression who helps individuals assess their higher self for spiritual and physical healing. And she uses deep hypnosis to access the subconscious mind to gain spiritual insights and facilitate physical and emotional healing. The second one is quantum healing by Deepak Chopra. And Deepak Chopra advocates for the idea that consciousness can influence physical health at a quantum level. And quantum healing is a foundational, most influential model within the broader category of quantum spiritual therapies. And Chopra's approach serves as a bridge between Ayurvedic medicine and modern mind-body science. And it proposes that the human body is sustained by a quantum body made of energy and information rather than just a solid matter. And the human body is controlled by a network of intelligence grounded in quantum reality. And accessing this fundamental level of consciousness, individuals can trigger spontaneous healing and defeat serious illnesses like cancer and heart disease. The third is Quantum Touch by Richard Gordon. It's a hands-on healing modality that uses breathing and energy awareness to amplify the body's life force. It is also a distant healing modality, and practitioners use specific breathing techniques and energy awareness to amplify their own force energy, which helps the recipient's body to heal itself. And the fourth is Dr. Frank Kinslow's quantum entrainment. And quantum entrainment is a rapid healing process based on reaching a state of pure awareness to quiet the nervous system. It is a rapid healing process that uses gentle touch to quieten the nervous system, allowing the body to reach a state of pure awareness for deep rest and recovery. The fifth one is Donna Eden, a pioneer in energy medicine. And energy medicine aligns the body's energy fields for health and vitality. Energy medicine is a branch of complementary and integrative medicine based on the principle that the human body is surrounded by and infused with a subtle energy field or biofield. And energy medicine aims to identify and correct imbalances or blockages in this energy field to restore physical, emotional, and spiritual health. The sixth is by Dr. Joe Dispenza, who integrates neuroscience and quantum physics to teach how individuals can rewire their minds and manifest personal transformation through meditation and visualization. The seventh is Quantum Spirituality by Amit Goswami. And it focuses on the primacy of consciousness. The eighth is Fred Alan Wolf, and he is known as Dr. Quantum. And if you remember, he appeared in the popular film in 2004, What the Bleep Do We Know? And this brought quantum spiritual concepts to mainstream audience. Bruce Lipton is a former biologist who changed his views after discovering quantum physics. And the 10th is Quantum Mysticism by Fritjof Capra in 1975. And the 11th is Carl Jung and his work on synchronicity and the collective unconscious provided a psychological spiritual framework that later proponents linked to quantum entanglement. Then the 12th is Transcendental Meditation by Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. And transcendental meditation is a major early influence on Deepak Chopra before Chopra established his own independent practice. So now let us look at the core concepts of spiritual treatment or spiritual healing. Spiritual treatment or spiritual healing is holistic wholeness approach. And health is viewed as a state of physical, psychological, social, and spiritual well-being. And treatment focuses on the interconnectedness of these dimensions, where a disturbance in one, such as a spiritual distress, can manifest as a physical or mental illness. And it recognizes that health is not merely the absence of disease, but a state of physical, psychological, social, and spiritual well-being. The second concept is spiritual versus religious care. While religious care occurs within a specific faith community beliefs and rituals, spiritual care is broader and can be non-religious, and it focuses on universal human needs like meaning, purpose, and self-worth. The third core concept is connection to a higher power or connection to a higher self. And this aims to deepen one's relationship with God or their higher self, fostering a deep sense of belonging and meaning and purpose. And the fourth concept is energy and breath of life. Many practices define spirituality as the breath of life. And healing often involves the transfer of energy, where a healer acts as a conduit for universal divine energy to clear blockages and restore the client's body to its natural flow. And many forms of spiritual healing, like Reiki, involve directing universal energy to raise a client's vibrations, releasing tension and strengthening the immune system. And the fifth concept is mind-body unity. And this focuses on how mental and spiritual states and emotions and beliefs impact physical health. And the sixth concept is meaning and purpose. And treatment often centers on helping individuals find meaning in their suffering, in their losses, and in the life challenges that they meet. And this sense of purpose is considered a vital resource for resilience and recovery. And meaning making helps process trauma, process illness, and process loss by finding a deeper meaning and understanding of the loss or of the trauma. And the seventh concept is relational presence. Relational presence is a fundamental pillar in the clinician-patient relationship, and it is characterized by compassionate presence. And this involves being fully present with an individual to witness the wholeness of their experience without judgment. So the four core spiritual principles are faith, hope, and charity. Then two, acceptance and surrender. Then three, gratitude. And four, forgiveness. And the common spiritual healing therapies and practices include Reiki, developed by Mikao Usui, and pranic healing, developed by Chowa Kok Sui, and spiritual mind treatment, a 5-step form of affirmative prayer. And the 5 steps are recognition, unification, realization, thanksgiving, and release. And the fourth common spiritual healing therapy is energy healing, techniques like Qigong, chakra healing, or therapeutic touch. And the fifth spiritual healing therapy is spiritual counseling, exploring spiritual beliefs to overcome life challenges and emotional disturbances. And the sixth common spiritual healing model is ritual and sacrament, using sacred acts to provide comfort and a sense of sacredness. And the seventh is spending time in nature, walking in the woods, or sitting by the ocean to feel grounded. And the eighth is journaling, writing down your thoughts to let go of old hurts or fears. So the goals of spiritual treatment are four, and the first one is inner peace, the second one is transformation, the third is spiritual fulfillment, and the fourth is empowerment. That is taking personal responsibility for one's spiritual health. As we come towards the end of this, excuse me. Let us look at the intersection of quantum psychotherapy, spirituality, and quantum physics, bridging mind, body, and energy. So, in the realm of quantum psychotherapy, healing often extends beyond the emotional and psychological into the very fabric of our being. Excuse me. Traditional psychotherapy, rooted in behavioral and cognitive science, has long been recognized traditional psychotherapy has long been recognized for its transformative power in treating mental health. But what happens when we begin to view the human experience through the lens that includes spirituality, metaphysics, or even the theories of quantum physics? The result is an integrated, holistic approach to healing that honors the profound interconnection between the mind, the body, and the spirit. So, as a quantum psychotherapist, you have to embrace the understanding that true healing involves much more than merely talking through one's thoughts or processing emotions. It requires acknowledge the energetic, the spiritual, and the unseen dimensions of our existence. And we will explore how psychotherapy can intersect with spirituality, metaphysics, and quantum physics, creating a rich multi-dimensional healing process that nurtures all aspects of the human experience. So let's begin with the energy of trauma, a quantum perspective. In traditional psychotherapy, trauma is viewed as an emotional or psychological injury rooted in specific events or experiences like childhood abuse, or loss, or neglect, or various other life stressors. The healing process involves working through these events, identifying their emotional residues, and processing them through talk therapy or experiential interventions. However, from the perspective of quantum physics, trauma is not merely a psychological event, but an energetic one. And everything, our thoughts, our emotions, physical bodies, everything is made up of energy vibrating at different frequencies. And the body, mind, and spirit are constantly interacting with this energetic field. So when a traumatic experience occurs, the energy of that event is stored within the body's cells, causing disruptions in the flow or energy or stuckness in certain areas. And this is where the intersection of psychotherapy and quantum physics becomes particularly intriguing. Quantum physics suggests that energy, including traumatic energy, can be shifted or transformed. And therapies that incorporate this understanding, such as somatic experiencing and energy healing modalities and mindfulness practices, aim to release trapped or blocked energy from the body, restoring balance and alignment to the system. So when one is able to release these energetic imprints through therapeutic work, they experience profound shifts in emotional well-being and their connection to their spiritual self. Spirituality in psychotherapy, a sacred healing space. Spirituality has been an integral part of healing traditions across cultures for centuries. Yet in modern psychotherapy, it is often sidelined or dismissed as irrelevant. However, for many people, their spiritual beliefs and practices form a core part of their identity and how they navigate the world. So that desire to reconnect with a sense of purpose and meaning and interconnectedness is part of mental health as emotional regulation or thought patterns. So, incorporating spirituality into psychotherapy doesn't mean adhering to any specific religious doctrine. It's about acknowledging deeper existential questions that arise in the healing process. What is the meaning of life? How do we cope with suffering? How can we cultivate compassion for ourselves and others? This is where metaphysics comes into play. And metaphysics is a branch of philosophy that explores the nature of reality, consciousness, and existence. And metaphysics helps us understand that our consciousness is not confined to the physical body or the material world. So as we carry out these quantum psychotherapy, putting together quantum spiritual principles and quantum healing practices, there are ethical considerations to look at. And the first one is self-awareness. As a therapist, you have to recognize your own spiritual biases to avoid unintentionally influencing the client. And two, avoiding imposition. As a therapist, you have to respect the client's autonomy and refrain from preaching or pushing your own religious agenda. The third is competence. As a therapist, you have to integrate spiritual elements if they have appropriate training and client's consent. As a therapist, you have to integrate spiritual elements if you have that appropriate training and the client's consent. So already you are trained in some psychological therapies. And you might have a patient who needs this spiritual element in their treatment. And you can integrate it if you have the appropriate training and if you have the client's consent to go ahead and use it. Without the client consent, don't bother imposing anything. And the fourth is ethical boundaries. We have to ensure that spiritual discussions are relevant to the therapeutic goals. And lastly, we have to be awareness of no causing harm, recognizing that certain religious beliefs can sometimes contribute to rather than heal mental health struggles. So as we end this presentation, what insights have you received on how spiritual practices and spiritual healing can be used and integrated into quantum psychotherapy to heal emotions, thoughts, and spiritual trauma? Thank you so much for listening. I wish you a blissful evening. Thank you.